What's up, guys? We're back with another video on the boat. We got all our electrical working last week, so today we're going to finish up the little bit of fab work that we got to do, clean up a bunch of stuff on the boat, and get it ready to paint the inside. I ordered the paint last week for it. We're gonna go with the same gray color as the outside, and then I was looking at getting some of that foam deck carpet for the top. I think I'm gonna get like some gray and black kind of like camo carpet for this thing. I think it'll look good all together. But we got a lot of grinding and welding to do today. I got like these brackets on both sides of the boat that are gonna come off. I gotta look into patching those holes. I think I'm just gonna use some hardware and some washers and just kind of RTV it and to plug those holes up, because I think I might use those holes later on for something else. So we're gonna leave them there. Got some other brackets and stuff up front. Some old like silicone from the last owner which mounted something on that wall. Kind of get everything where it needs to be. We'll pull off what we can so it's not in the way while we're painting, and then we'll vacuum, really clean this thing out, and get it ready for paint. And then I think we still got to make our lid attached back there to cover the batteries up. So that'll probably be one of the first things I do, and then we'll go around, and I gotta pull the trolling motor off. I gotta finish that bracket up front that it mounts to. It's just tacked together right now. So we got quite a bit of work to do today. So let's get after it. Hey guys. Alright, so I went ahead and got this lid mounted back up. What I ended up doing was I put a piece of angle, kind of split the seam here, and I riveted it to the bench, and then I drilled and tapped holes on this side so I can pull these bolts back out and this whole lid can come up. But after doing all that, this panel still has a lot of flex in the middle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of angle across the middle here to kind of support it so it's not bending down while we're walking on it. I got a piece of angle that I need to cut, and then I figure we'll just rivet it 4 or 5 times across here to help sturdy this up. I just don't want to step on it and fall through, end up standing on top of my batteries. This hatch won't have to come off a whole lot. That's why I just went ahead and bolted it down. Really the only time it'll have to come off if I'm needing to replace the batteries or work on any of the electrical stuff. But I plan on having a toolbox or a tool bag with all the common tools that I'll need to work on this on the boat at all times. That way if I do need to get to a fuse in there or something, I can pull these bolts out real quick, get to the fuse box and work on it. So there you guys have it. Now it's a whole lot sturdier here in the middle. It still has a little bit of flex, but I'm not gonna really sweat it. I don't think it'll have that much weight standing on it, and if anything, someone's just gonna step on it for a short amount of time just to get up front. So I'm gonna call this side good. I'm gonna put the bolts back in it, and then I think we're gonna go up front and see if we can finish up that trolling motor mount. It still needs to be welded, and I think we're gonna have to add a couple more pieces of angle to it, just to stiffen it up and also give us a place to mount our sheet metal to when we go to put the decking on. Okay guys, so the first thing we gotta do is go ahead and take this trolling motor off. I have a handful of bolts that just go down into the frame to hold this on. We're gonna take this off and just set it off to the side for now, and then we're gonna work on the frame it sits on. I think we're gonna have to add a couple more pieces to this and then finish welding it out, and then mount it for the final time. So here's the frame that me and my buddy Willie built back last summer. Right now it's just pretty much tacked up. I did weld a little bit, on it just to help support that trolling motor. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is adding another piece that comes off this one and meets over here. That way I can lay a whole sheet here and just rivet it straight to the frame. What I also have to do is drill these holes out through this top rail, and we're gonna bolt it to the nose of the boat, because it's just kind of sitting here loose at the moment. I have rivets holding the frame in up here. I think I'm gonna probably drill those out and put self tappers. I think they'll be a little bit stronger and help hold the trolling motor. And then we just got to do some cleanup up here. That way this is all ready for a piece of aluminum sheet to go on, and then we'll start working our way back, cleaning up and getting stuff ready for decking or for painting. There you guys have it. I went ahead and used self tappers to hold this piece on to the nose of the boat. I didn't have any bolts that were long enough to get all the way through, and then I was thinking about it. If I ever have to take this off, it'll be a whole lot easier if all I have to do is run these self tappers out and pop this piece off. As you can see in the video before this, I went ahead, welded that piece in there. That'll give me something sturdy to rivet our deck piece onto. I think once I'm start doing the deck lids and stuff, I think I'm probably gonna grind these nutserts back out, lay the deck piece on, get it riveted, and then reinstall the nutserts. That way it's also sandwiching the deck lid down. But I got a little ahead of myself and put these in so I can get the trolling motor mounted and get all that figured out. But that's about it. When we do the decking, I'm gonna just mount a panel here that comes down. I don't know if it'll come all the way down to this. If anything, I can run a piece of angle down here and just rivet it to this tab to give it some more support, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This piece of decking is pretty much all ready to go. I do have to come down here and grind all these wells down so the decking lays flat. So I'll probably come back down here and do all that, get that ground down, and then go from there. So we got the front hatch all welded down. I welded down this one rear hatch. I'm not going to put a support across the other one. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of standing on the back. I think it's mainly going to be sitting. I don't think it's going to need a whole lot of support. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is start getting the bottom of the boat straightened up and cleaned up for paint. I'm also going to rivet these benches down a little bit better. Right now I only have a couple in them just to keep them located. But I'm going to try and finish getting everything secured down for the final time. We're going to get this wiring zip tied up to that PVC pipe. We're going to get all that underneath cleaned up. And then when it's all said and done, I'm going to take the vacuum and try to get out as much of the aluminum shavings, the little wire clippings on either end, all the dirt and nasty stuff in the bottom of the boat. That way when the paint shows up, maybe this week we'll get it painted, maybe next week. We'll see how far we get and when it shows up. It's still pretty cold, so I gotta leave the heater running to help the paint dry. So we might have to wait until next Sunday or Monday to do it. That way I'm home all day and it can run. But we'll get it all cleaned up. I went ahead and knocked those brackets off that were on the walls. I'm not gonna put the hardware through the sides yet and silicone it until I'm all said and done painting. That way the paints can bond to the aluminum and not have to try to stick to the silicone or anything. I got some cleaner. I think I'm going to try to get some of this red dye off the walls. I welded up a bunch of holes there, and I used this like a penetrant dye to make sure the leaks were all plugged up. So we're going to try to get as much as that cleaned off, because when I did paint the outside, it did bleed through a little bit, but I was able to paint over it a second time and get rid of it. So let's get after it. Got the boat all cleaned up, got everything riveted down how I want to. Vacuumed out the bottom. I looked up, paint's supposed to be here Thursday, so we'll probably wait till next week's video to go ahead and paint the boat, or the inside of the boat, and do some touch up. So let me know if you guys like this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave comments. I'm looking forward to getting the inside painted. I think it's going to pretty much change the whole look of this boat. And then after the paint dries and everything, we'll start making our templates for our decking and all that. I got to figure out how much aluminum sheet I'll need to get everything covered. And then once we know how much decking we'll need, we'll know how much foam carpet we'll need, and we'll get that ordered too. After that, it's just kind of buttoning up stuff. The boat trailer itself needs a lot of work, so that's going to probably be a whole nother series on its own. It needs a lot of love, and then we'll go from there. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.